Chapter 45 Severing Godhood, Eternal Imprisonment. I'll kill you. Usbel continued its charge towards Li Chenchi like a desperate, mad bull. However, Li Chenchi snapped his fingers. Countless god-slaying blades appeared out of thin air, splitting into 2, 4, 8, and more, like bacteria multiplying, instantly covering the entire sky in dense array. 10 handles. 100. 1,000 handles. Tens of millions of golden battle swords appeared, all pointing their blades at Usbel. Usbel instantly felt an overwhelming sense of despair, a feeling akin to an ordinary person being pointed at by countless Gatling guns, enough to make one's legs go weak with fear. But Usber is a god, a ruler. He cannot back down. This world has destroyed everything he has, and he will let this world perish in despair. We cannot retreat. Usbel's pupils erupted with dazzling divine light, yet his heart shattered like glass under the burning divine fire. Roar! Usbel let out a beast-like roar, and its body rapidly grew larger. The pale divinity vanished, and the form gradually transformed into a mixture of flesh and machine. Countless twisted blood vessels flew wildly, and scattered blood swirled around it like clouds, becoming increasingly ferocious, twisted, and terrifying. Rotting flesh and decaying machinery, like the ultimate demons from the abyss, symbolize ultimate despair. At 5,000 meters high, it's almost half the height of Mount Everest, and if it weren't for Li Chenchi's divine burial domain limiting it, Usibei's size would be even larger. Hiss, roar. The mechanical and fleshy monster roared and swung its claws, which were made of flesh and strange metal, tearing through countless voids. The winds of void fragments it stirred up destroyed countless golden longswords and even shattered all the mystic arrays around Li Chenchi. The power of this claw is enough to tear the blue planet apart. Bang! The claws ripped towards Li Chenchi, but he blocked them with one hand. The materials used in the Sky Thunder are no joke. They're said to be indestructible, and they truly are. Die! Li Chenchi roared, and countless golden swords trembled in unison, transforming into a dazzling golden torrent that rushed towards Usbel like dense raindrops. Usbel was pierced through the body, and the enormous kinetic energy propelled him away. Bigger. You think bigger means stronger. Li Chenchi raised his right hand above his head with a cold smile, closed his eyes, and began chanting indescribable characters. Clang, clang, clang. Clang, 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 clang. Countless golden swords suddenly vanished into thin air. Boom, boom, boom. Go to hell. Usbel's expression suddenly changed drastically. What? A golden divine mountain descended upon his head. That's not a mountain. If you look closely, you'll see that it's a giant sword made up of countless golden longswords. From outside the blue planet, that golden giant sword looked like a real god pointing at a finger no bigger than a ping-pong ball. The golden divine sword pierced through the atmosphere of Blue Star and slammed down heavily onto Usbel below. Boom. Faster than light, more powerful than rules. Amidst a hazy golden light, Zhang Chunmei opened her eyes. The golden light dimmed, and a familiar place appeared before my eyes. This is a school? Zhang Chunmei murmured to herself. Before her was her school when she was 18. Over the years, what she had always wanted to abandon was that tragic era. She was a person whose life was filled with despair. She had a carefree childhood, with plenty of food and clothing, until she lost her father at the age of 8. Her mother then remarried, taking her with her at a young age. 3 years after her mother's marriage, her stepfather finally revealed his true colors, beating her to death and then humiliating himself in front of her memorial tablet. In the years that followed, the nightmare never ceased. Anywhere, in any place, whenever that beast beckoned, Zhang Chunmei had no choice but to obey and endure his humiliation. At that time, I realized that I had no power, and that my beauty, which others envied, was not a gift of fate, but a curse. I hate myself for being powerless to resist. I hate my own cowardice. Later, when I was 18, a handsome transfer student named Zhu Feng arrived at my school. He fell hopelessly in love with me. Perhaps I could use Zhu Feng to take revenge on my past. What happened next was just like in all revenge stories. I gained power, and Zhu Feng gained this filthy body of mine. We owe each other nothing. We had a son who took my surname. I do everything I can to be good to him, because he is my only family in this world. Later, I met more and more powerful people, and the tragic memories of my childhood pierced my nerves. I was terrified that because I wasn't strong enough, my son would suffer an undeserved tragedy. I want to pursue power. My son died. In his last moments, I finally realized that there was someone in this world who loved me. How could anyone love me after such a tragic experience? How could I, who was so indifferent to him, deserve his love? But it was all too late. I and everything I cherished are dead. A handsome young man, bathed in golden light, walked towards them. He stared blankly at Zhang Chunmei, scratching his head with a shy expression, and asked, "Excuse me, can we get to know each other?" Zhang Chunmei was stunned. If I could turn back time, I really would want to just reject him. If I had just rejected him, maybe the sadness that followed wouldn't have happened. He was still the sunny Zhu Feng, and I was still the miserable and desperate Zhang Chunmei. My name is Zhang Chunmei, what's yours? Zhang Chunmei, as if possessed, reached out her hand again. However, this time, she had no ulterior motives. Reflecting on their more than 20 years of marriage, she could sense Zhu Feng's feelings for her. Clang! A golden battlesword descended from the sky and landed straight in front of Zhang Chunmei. Zhang Chunmei's consciousness went black, and then she saw the back of a middle-aged man. In front of that man, a little girl's panicked scream rang out. It was that night. Zhang Chunmei gripped the golden battlesword and walked step by step toward the man's retreating figure. Snap! Zhang Chunmei threw down her blood-stained sword and cried like a child. Decades of grievances suddenly erupted, and tears flowed like a burst dam. Suddenly, she burst into laughter, because she knew that time travel didn't exist. Everything she had done was just an illusion. The past is history. To hell with this world. A spell. Yes. I am not Zhang Chunmei. Zhang Chunmei does not exist. I am a spell. Zhang Chunmei appeared to be insane. Mimi. A gentle male voice rang out. Zhang Chunmei froze. If this is really an illusion, then let's live in an illusion forever, okay? Zhu Feng's voice was gentle yet penetrating. Good. They hugged each other tightly. God cannot die. But the heart can die. Li Qianqi suddenly appeared, carrying a long golden sword. Liuli, why did you spread such nonsense? Li Qianqi muttered to himself, looking at the two heads rolling on the ground. This desolate god overlord is really hard to kill. I suspect you were just bragging before. Liuli's figure appeared, and she shrugged. Mortals have never truly killed a god. I was just deducing based on the prophecy on the divine stele. Brother. Jujia looked at the two heads rolling on the ground. Are they really dead? Dead, they should be dead. Li Qianqi nodded. At least their souls are forever imprisoned in this burial ground of gods, so they can be considered dead, right? Gods are indeed unkillable. However, Li Qianqi's burial god domain can imprison their souls and separate their divine status, which is equivalent to killing them. After all, a god without divine status loses power, and even if the soul still exists, it is no different from being dead. Having lost their divine status, they exist as a void soul, completely isolated from the real world, forever alone. By using Zhang Chunmei and Zhu Feng's identities, her tragic childhood was erased. This eternal imprisonment could be considered a good ending for them, right? Finally, divinity. If a divine title can be recycled, how many points would that require? Chapter 46, Dividing the Spoils, a Battlefield. The golden light dissipated. Li Qianqi stood amidst ruins, having deactivated his Herrscher's form and reverted to his original appearance. However, his once black hair had now turned silver-white, and a hint of blue had crept into his black pain. This time, he lost not just 25 years of his life, but 27 years. Generally speaking, the average lifespan of a person is 75 years. Li Qianqi had already lived for 18 years, and now he has lost another 27 years of his life. He still has more than 30 years left to live. I wonder if there are any ways in this world to extend lifespan? Don't worry, since this question has been raised, it means there is a solution, it's just that Li Qianqi doesn't know it yet. The three disbanded their combined form. Thank you, I'll be leaving now. Lioli clutched her chest, her face pale, and turned to leave. No, you. Li Qianqi stretched out her hand. Where are you going? Return to the headquarters of the Machine Alliance. What about me? Are you just going to abandon me, the commander? Li Qianqi smacked his lips. He wasn't just lusting after her. To be honest, there are many benefits to having Lioli by his side. Lioli is the founder of the Great Xia Mech Alliance, the leader, and the most powerful Valkyrie. What would it mean if he could keep her around? This is equivalent to holding the Emperor hostage to command the feudal lords. Wherever I go in the future, who will dare to provoke me? Resources and spare parts will be readily available, won't they? Moreover, she is also the strongest fighter. With Lioli around, there's no need to fight anymore. Just let her go up and intimidate with her face. Even if you encounter a wild beast that doesn't give you face, you can still give it face physically. Since you've already paid off 27 years of your lifespan, you should earn more in return. Besides, I am your commander, so it's only natural for the Valkyries to live with the commander, right? That being said, you, Lioli paused, glanced back at Li Qianqi, then at Jujia, who was silent. You should just live your lives as you always have, as if you never met me. Cut. Li Qianqi pursed his lips. Scumbag woman. They drained me dry, pulled up their pants and ran, saying they'd pretend they never met me. What about our contract? How about we cancel it too? Li Qianqi asked tentatively. Rather than never seeing each other again, I'd rather terminate the contract with you directly and free up space to form a new contract. Let the contract remain as it is, Lioli said calmly. Li Qianqi was stunned. In novels, even the scumbag boyfriends might give some breakup fee. This is outrageous. You're running away before even canceling the contract. What's the matter? Are you trying to squeeze me dry any time in the future? I cannot accept this. I absolutely cannot accept this. Heh. Li Qianqi sneered, then I'll unilaterally terminate the contract. Goodbye, Miss GG. Wait. Lioli called out to him. What do you want? Hey. Objective achieved. Breaking the contract would cause backlash to the commander and the Valkyrie. Ruri is very strong, so she values the preservation of her power and will never easily break the contract. I've lost 27 years of my life to help you save the world, so it wouldn't be right if I didn't get something in return, would it? Li Qianqi rubbed his hands together, smiling broadly. Yes, that doesn't make sense. If it weren't for my help, wouldn't you, Ruri, be lying here now with Erzbil's body? But if I lose, you will die too. Li Qianqi said shamelessly, just wait and see if Usbel is dead or not, right? He can't die without me, can he? Yes. So, his remains belong to me. How about that? Lioli fell silent, lost in thought for a very long time. Indeed, Li Qianqi is right. In retrospect, without Li Qianqi's help, it wouldn't be Yu Sibei who died here today, but Lu Li. Even though Li Qianqi would have died if he had failed, that didn't happen. Fate is like a fair judge. It doesn't answer any hypothetical questions. There are no what-ifs in this world. However, the Overlord's remains are extremely precious. No Overlord remains have ever been recovered in the world. If researchers could develop something from the Overlord's body samples, it would be a groundbreaking breakthrough. It might even rewrite the fate of humankind. The remains of the Aragami must not be lost. In that case, Lioli took a deep breath. Come with me. Go with you. Where to? Li Qianqi was taken aback. From now on, I will announce to the world that you are my commander, and your sister will also be considered my sister from now on. How about that? Li Qianqi was speechless. All he wanted was the remains of the desolate god. Why were you taking him away again? I want you to come with me, not the other way around. What does it mean to go with Lioli? It means that Li Qianqi will have to join the Great Xia Mech Alliance and be at the forefront fighting those wild beasts. Otherwise, if Li Qianqi didn't charge into battle, the whole world would think that the Great Xia Dynasty Princess Commander was actually a man who lived off a woman. Li Qianqi quickly figured it out. His thinking was very simple. He currently had only two goals. Firstly, to ensure my parents can live a peaceful and quiet life. Secondly, to avenge my 2 deceased roommates against the Honkai Church. He is still very weak compared to the Honkai Church, so he doesn't want to show his face. He wants to quietly become stronger first and then shock everyone. Lioli, I think it's more exciting for us to do it secretly. Li Chenchi chuckled. I know what you're thinking. Lioli nodded non-committally, her golden eyes flashing with an eerie light. You are indeed too weak right now. You're not qualified to seek revenge. I can make the decision. How about this? You'll take 30% of Usbel's remains. After all, I contributed the most, so it's only fair that I get 70%. And then there's our relationship. Lioli rubbed her chin, deep in thought. Did we have sex? A relationship? Li Chenchi continued. Brother, we're talking about serious matters. Lioli rolled her eyes at him. If you can really reach my level in the future, I don't mind if something actually happens between us. Ahem. I won't tell anyone about our relationship, and you don't need to worry about being targeted by others. No. Li Chenchi quickly waved his hand. It's not enough. We need to add more. Sister Lioli, look how weak I am. What if I accidentally get killed by the villains of the Honkai Church? Li Chenchi said in a high-pitched voice. Ugh. Can't you be normal for once? Lioli said with a look of disgust. Sister Lioli, if I encounter a bad guy I can't beat, can I use the Valkyrie system to ask you to come and protect me? Please don't do that. It's giving me goosebumps. Is it okay? Okay. I'll come right away if you're in danger. Okay, thank you, Boss G. Li Chenchi laughed heartily. The contract is complete, and those who break it will be punished with salt. Also, isn't 30% too little? It's not just the 2 of us who contributed. Judja also did. If it weren't for the power of her component, Sky Thunder, we might not have been able to take down Usabel. That 30% is for her. Li Chenchi was dumbfounded. So it turns out that not only does 70% belong to others, but even 30% isn't mine. That's outrageous. Just as Li Chenchi was about to speak, Lioli severed Usabei's corpse, instantly leaving with 70% of it, leaving behind the words. Call me if you need anything, Commander. It feels numb when you squeeze it. I'm so angry. A moment later, Li Chenchi's terminal rang. He opened it and saw that it was a voice message from Lioli. Your Excellency, Commander, greetings. If you perform well in the Great Siam Mech Alliance in the future, I will gift you the remaining 70% of the Desolate God's remains. For reasons I cannot state, I can only tell you that in the near future, or perhaps a long time from now, I may need your strength again. I hope that by then, Commander, you will have grown stronger, so that I can extract more energy from you. After all, you once said that even a succubus can't be extracted as much as I can. Finally, tell your sister not to worry. I will not compete with her for the commander position. This time, I was only forced to do so. I know you don't want to join the Great Siam Mech Alliance, but the world is changing. Perhaps fighting, and fighting forever, isn't so dangerous. The real danger is coming. And you said you'd call me if you were in danger and I'd come to your rescue, but you didn't specify what level of danger constitutes danger. P.S. Ha 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 ha, Commander, I filmed your effeminate tone just now. Didn't expect that, did you? Li Chenchi's face turned green after hearing the message. Without saying anything else, they just mentioned a major crisis, trying to lure him into joining the Great Siam Mech Alliance. There's no definition of what constitutes danger, so does that mean as long as I'm not dead, it's not dangerous? Are you playing word games? Especially the last sentence. Damn it! You, who looked so aloof and cool, are actually such a scumbag. Trying to act all high and mighty with me, huh? You were just a pathetic old woman, and now you've got me all this messed up. Immediately, Li Chenchi sent a voice message. I recorded it. Your Majesty, the Princess of Great Xia, openly flirting with an innocent young man. Who do you think would be more shameless if word got out? Haha. That feels so good. Brother. Judja's voice suddenly rang out. Li Chenchi then realized that he seemed to have turned into a battleground. Ha! Li Chenchi swallowed hard and gave a dry laugh. Chapter 47. Brother, there are too many people here. Brother, what do you think of Lioli? Judja cautiously tugged at Licenchi's sleeve, her tone quite careful. What do you think? I want to fuck her to death. Licenchi answered cautiously. Brother, what about me? Judja asked dejectedly. You. Licenchi suddenly realized that the little girl was jealous. After all, Lioli was undoubtedly the best in the Great Xia in terms of status, strength, and appearance. She felt that she would be neglected in the future. Judja is the most important person to me, always number one. Licenchi said sincerely. Judja, you are both my sister and the person I love most. No one can replace you in that respect. As for that GG, she'll get what's coming to her later. Yeah, brother. I'll give you a gift when I get home tonight. My most precious gift. Licenchi swallowed, his Adam's apple bobbing up and down, and suddenly felt a dryness in his mouth. Judja, I'm out of energy. Want a can? We'll talk about it when we get home. I'll feed you. Isn't this a bit too exciting? System, retrieve 30% of Usbel's remains. Ding. Congratulations, host, you have gained 20 trillion points. 20 trillion. The unit is megawatts, MB. 1 trillion is equal to 1 trillion. This is insane. As expected of a god, the points are terrifying. The system notification is not over yet. Ding. Congratulations, host, your accumulated points have exceeded 100 million. Your access permission level has been increased by 1 level. Your current level is 3. Ding. Congratulations, host, your accumulated points have exceeded 1 billion. Your access permission level has been increased by 1 level. Your current level is 3. Ding. Congratulations, host, your accumulated points have exceeded 10 trillion. Your access permission level has been increased by 1 level. Your current level is 7. Current access level is 7, with a 70% increase in access success rate and a 35% increase in control over the target mech. There is also a certain probability of forced access even during battle. Level 7 access permission. You can now access enemies during battle. This means that in the future, if you're fighting an enemy, you can suddenly access them and they'll revert to human form, which you can then stomp on them in your mech form. Access permissions now have the effect of control skills. Very good. Then comes the question of how to spend the 20 trillion points. There are still some remnants of the collapsed church in Deshang. We must immediately use these 20 trillion points to arm ourselves. I won't buy the low-end accessories. There's no need. Licenchi opened the system shop and focused his attention on the second mecha parts. Lord of the End, Igris all accessories. Price, 80 trillion points. He can't afford the full set of components. 20 megabytes can buy about a quarter of the components, which is about right. Immediately, Licenchi purchased the End Arrives, Dark Radiance Wheel X2, back accessory, increases speed. The End Arrives, Flame Emperor Arm Guard X2, arms, increases destructive power. The End is Coming, Link Engine, increases energy output efficiency and destructive power. 5 accessories in total, costing Licenchi 20 trillion points. It was cleared instantly. Points are never truly yours until you use them. Moreover, Licenchi didn't spend a penny on low-level parts. The parts for Lord of the End are all SSS grade, super parts on the same level as the Sky Thunder, and they won't be replaced or obsolete. These points were well spent. After being compressed and sealed, these 5 parts are all cylindrical in shape, about the thickness of a thumb. They can be used simply by inserting them into the Valkyries panel. Judja! Licenchi exclaimed, holding up 5 accessories. Look here. I have another treasure. Wow! Brother, you're amazing! Judja exclaimed in surprise. Where did this come from? This is the reward from Heim. We helped her slay a god, and these parts are our reward. I also fused Usbel's power into the parts. Licenchi found a reason and, incidentally, included the reason for the disappearance of Yu Sibei's body. Haha, don't worry about that. Judja, all the good stuff I got is for you, only for you. Come on, Judja, don't move around, I'll install it for you right away. Don't be afraid, Ja, it'll be over soon. Brother, it's just installing an accessory, why are you making such a lewd statement? Judja said helplessly. Although she was used to it, Li Chenchi's words were really too lewd. Brother, let's go somewhere else. Judja looked around, feeling a little uncomfortable. I'm afraid someone will see us. Why are you afraid of others seeing you installing a component? It's just installing a component, isn't it? Li Chenchi asked, puzzled. Chapter 48. Is the dust settled? No. Judja, won't you give me a victory kiss? Kissing on the cheek is okay. Otherwise what? Li Chenchi smiled. I could reluctantly accept mouth-to-mouth contact, I guess. Mua. Li Chenchi acted swiftly, dabbing a kiss on Judja's lips. Ugh. You're being a pervert. Judja blushed instantly, glancing around nervously, afraid of being seen by others. Judja, one more. This time, I'm going to reach out. Aye. Judja clutched the hem of her clothes, her face flushed. Let's go somewhere else, it's so embarrassing if someone sees us. The two arrived at the kitchen of a restaurant that was about to collapse. Judja, is it okay? Brother, your hand. All right. Beep beep beep. The communication terminal made a sound. Upon hearing this voice, Judja instantly shrank into the corner like a frightened rabbit, her ears turning bright red, and she lowered her head, not daring to look at Li Chenchi. Damn it! Li Chenchi was furious. Who is it? How rude! Disturbing me at this crucial moment. If things continue as they were, they might even force a situation. Baka Yuru. Shit. Chow Nima. Hey, who the hell are you? Li Chenchi answered the call angrily. It's me, Lioli. Spit it out. Li Chenchi said irritably. Lioli was a little confused by Li Chenchi's sudden anger. I'm just informing you that your 2 secret realms in Dashang have fallen, and a large number of wild beasts have fled. I suggest you go and visit the Great Siamek Alliance. Your parents are there. With Dashang fallen, they probably won't be very happy, will they? Although the Aragami is dead, the effects he caused have not yet ended. Li Chenchi, I can tell you with absolute certainty that you think there are only 4 desolate god rulers, right? And that the remaining 3 shouldn't pose any threat, right? You're wrong. The Lord of the Wild Gods is far more terrifying than you've ever seen. Keep going. When you can truly fight alongside me with your own strength, I will tell you the truth about the world. From the moment you killed Usbel, his aura has been locked onto you. The beast race will never let you go. The Honkai Church has also learned of your existence and has launched an endless manhunt. From now on, you will face countless trials. This is something you cannot avoid. But before that, I will shield you from those enemies you cannot defeat. Li Chenchi took a deep breath, her heart heavy. Are you finished? That's all, Lioli said. You're done talking, get out of here. You scumbag who drained me of my energy, half my life, and then ran away, get out of here. Lioli wasn't angry. Fine, since you have so many complaints about me, let's terminate the contract then. I was a little harsh just now. Please don't take offense, Your Highness. Don't force yourself, okay? Not at all. My biggest dream is to be seduced by Her Majesty's beauty just like before, to be completely captivated by Her Majesty's beauty, and to become Her Majesty's dog. Beep beep beep. The call ended. Judja jumped up and grabbed Li Chenchi's ear. What did you say? You treated me like that just now, and now you're talking like this. What do you want? Be careful, or I won't let you do that again. Like this. Like this. How about that? Li Chenchi was a little confused. The girl's words were indeed full of hidden meanings. As for what Lioli said, what danger? With my Skybreaker and Lord of the End Igris gear, as long as I play it safe, who can kill me? The collapsed church? Instead of coming to me, I'm coming to come to you. I'm the one in danger. Dashang. Uspel's aura gradually dissipated. After all, he was a god, and even a newly born god's aura did not vanish instantly after death. Even though he is dead, the impact he has had is not so easily erased. The anomaly in space was restored. Thanks to the breaking of the Pale Emperor's aria dance, the terrifying, world-ending gravity disappeared, and under Li Chenqi's command, the 9 planets of the solar system returned to their positions. Uspel is a newly born god, whose power can even shake celestial bodies in the universe. Furthermore, according to Ruri, Uspel is not a particularly powerful god, and the total number of origami is not just 4. Ugh, so annoying. Next time, could you please kill the origami beforehand? Don't borrow my power again, or I'll be dead. On the horizon, a huge, pale golden column of cloud descended from the very top of the sky, radiating unparalleled brilliance. That was the god-slaying blade that Li Chenqi had condensed for his final strike, leaving a star mark on blue star in space. This terrifying power has not recovered, and it will not recover for a long time to come. The sky above Dashang will remain forever. It's like a sword of Damocles hanging over the heads of the world, reminding everyone not to forget the dangers of the origami. Not long after, the dark clouds above Cotton City disappeared, the weather cleared up, and the sun finally shone brightly on the land of Cotton City, bringing a ray of hope to this city that had just experienced a life-or-death crisis and a touch of warmth to a city that was almost broken. The sky gradually returned to its original azure blue, cloudless, with only the giant sword star mark remaining. Star mark, a made-up term meaning damage caused by combat, scars left on a planet. This golden star mark was later named Platinum Star Mark by the Great Siamek Alliance. Because Uspel's first stage power is Golden Divine Flame, and her third stage is Pale Despair Fire, which burns all things and brings the despair of death, while the princess's Golden Divine Sword brings hope. Therefore, naming it Platinum Star Mark is the perfect choice. Of course, that's a story for another time. And now, the 9 stars in the sky have finally disappeared, and natural disasters such as earthquakes, subsidence, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, and typhoons have finally subsided. In Dashang, the citizens who hid in the ruins were terrified and cried out in despair for a long time, finally waiting for the disaster to temporarily end? No, the disaster seems to be over. Is it over? The apocalyptic scene in the sky had just ended, but no one dared to be sure it was truly over. After all, it wasn't a battle between 2,000-meter-tall mechs, and ordinary people couldn't see such a battle. Dear residents, the so-called immortal and indestructible desolate god ruler Uspel has been personally slain by the great Xia princess. The crisis has been averted. Please. In Dashang, and not just Dashang, but in many cities and even throughout the entire Wuchuan province, the broadcasts of the Great Siamek Alliance echoed through the streets and alleys. This is not the voice of an official announcer, but the voice of Long Wei Hua, the highest leader of the Great Xia Machine Alliance. The citizens were stunned for a moment, some even unable to believe it, but this was the highest-ranking official personally delivering the announcement. Dear residents, the so-called immortal and indestructible desolate god ruler Uspel has been personally slain by the Great Xia princess. The crisis has been averted. Please assist the Great Siamek Alliance in rescuing the victims of the disaster. When one is in trouble, help comes from all sides. Let's work together to let those bloodthirsty and cruel beasts know the unity of the Great Xia people. We urge all local Great Siamek Alliance organizations to mobilize their forces to resist the escaped beasts from the secret realm. We also urge all surviving citizens to assist the Mech Alliance in rescuing our compatriots trapped under the ruins of the city. Keep it up, everyone. Let the world see our resilience. Chapter 49 Six-Eared Macaque. Li Chenqi arrived at the Dasha Jiming Dashang branch. His parents are still there. He has to go and see them. After slaying the wild beasts that had escaped from the secret realm, Li Chenqi finally arrived at the Mech Alliance building. From afar, he saw a giant 6-tailed pig, over 20 meters long, perched atop the Jiming building. Roar! Not far away, the 6-eared pig strode towards the Machine Alliance building with its strong hooves. Its height of over 20 meters was as tall as a 10-story building. On the left, massive fangs still clung to steaming mechanical tissues. On the right, fangs were pierced through the hides and flesh of other wild beasts. Beneath the Valkyrie's thick hooves flowed the blood of other wild beasts and the fluids circulating within her body. This crazed boar doesn't care about its opponents. It kills both humans and constructs. The six-eared wild boar's lantern-sized eyes gleamed with a bloodthirsty red light. Compared to its size, the lantern-sized eyes were indeed small. Its massive black body was covered in thick, dark brown fur. The muscles on its back were pushed up by its spine, and the muscles on the sides bulged up like small mountains. Strange keratin covered the muscles, making them look as bizarre as animal horns. Its belly was covered with a thick layer of fat, and its huge belly almost hung to the ground. Its 4 strong pig legs were bulging with muscles, and its hooves were covered with a substance that looked like an iron alloy, like a war cavalry. The whole pig was a killer monster. Type: six-eared macaque. Quality: elite, common, elite, rare, lord, royal. Attributes: fire, earth. Strength rank: silver level 8. Characteristics: originally an elite-type wild beast, it was frenzied and bloodthirsty. Influenced by the fourth ruler, Usbel, it has now awakened some intelligence and should be treated with caution. It is currently undergoing a metamorphosis into a chi, so please kill it as soon as possible. A powerful, silver level 8 wild beast. This was the first time Li Qianqi had ever truly seen a wild beast. However, I do know about the six-eared macaque, but what the hell is the six-eared macaque pig? And aren't you a pig? How can you transform into a chi? Aren't chi and jiao creatures snakes that molt into dragons? What? How can a pig transform into a dragon? This is outrageous. That being said, this six-eared pig is quite handsome, big, and fierce. If I could catch one to play with, but I'd better not. This beast has killed so many people. I could never keep such a pet. It's over 20 meters high, right? What I like most is the big target. If all the wild beasts are this big, wouldn't I be able to become a sniper in the future? A sniper with full defense. Immediately, Li Qianqi summoned the god-slaying spear, poured in energy, and began to charge up and release a laser saturation attack. All I saw was Yang Chenglong piloted a helicopter mech, leading more than 10 Valkyrie mechs of different shapes as he charged forward. Yang Chenglong was a silver level 6 warrior, and none of the warriors around him were even silver level. Furthermore, the combat power of the wild beasts was inherently higher than that of ordinary Valkyries, and their levels further suppressed them. Therefore, Yang Chenglong and his group did not gain any advantage. Neither weapon attacks nor laser attacks posed a threat to the six-eared pig. However, the six-eared pig was too fat and moved very slowly, making it easy for Yang Chenglong and his men to fly it like a kite. The six-eared boar roared, and the bristles on its body suddenly stood on end like needles, then burst out in all directions in a faint black light. Whoosh! It was a dense shower of bristles, fast-moving and launched with lightning speed, leaving Yang Chenglong and his men with almost no way to avoid it. In an instant, all the warriors raised their shields, attempting to withstand the bristling attack. Bang! One of the Valkyries was a speed-type Valkyrie with low defense. She was hit by dozens of steel needles in one go, her body was damaged, and she was sent flying. Holy crap! Why are you flying this way? Don't interrupt my charge-up. Snap! The sports car mech landed beside Li Qianqi, creating a large crater. Dust billowed up, and the ground trembled slightly. Li Qianqi ignored the man and continued to conserve his power. This silver level 8 wild beast is not so easy to deal with. In addition, the wild beast has thick skin and strong defense. He must devote all his energy to achieve a one-hit kill. Ugh! The commander and Valkyrie cried out in pain from the crater. A mech from a Chang'an sedan crawled out of the rubble and was about to rush forward when it spotted Li Qianqi. Upon closer inspection, good grief, a black iron level commander? A Chunibu kid comes here to snipe a silver level 8 wild beast? Hey buddy, what are you doing here? Get back to the safe zone. The Chang'an automobile mech called out. I'll leave as soon as I'm done shooting. Don't shoot. If we attract that wild boar's attention, no one here can stop it. Let's go. I'll leave as soon as I'm done, Li Qianqi continued. Energy depleted? This shot doesn't seem powerful enough to snipe a silver level 8 boar. Has the energy been used up? Li Qianqi took out the Star Tuning badge, activated the Star Tuner talent ability, upgraded one level to Black Iron level 6, and instantly recovered full energy. Keep charging. Young man, why are you so stubborn? Hurry up and go. Take my advice, young man. Don't be too impetuous. You can't handle a level 8 silver beast. Young man, if you don't leave soon, I'm going to have to send you on your way. The commander inside the Chang'an automobile mecha was still talking, and it looked like he was about to forcibly take Li Qianqi away. I'll leave after I shoot, Li Qianqi said calmly, the god-slaying spear in his hand almost reaching its limit. But... No buts, don't worry about me. Li Qianqi shouted. The other person meant well, but I can't let them interrupt me right now, so I can only yell back. Drinking a can of jasmine milk tea provides extra energy, powering up your energy reserves. Charging complete, 480% energy. The end arrives, Dark Radiance Wheel, the end arrives, Flame Emperor Arm Guard, and the end arrives, Link Engine are all activated. Compressed muzzle size improves laser penetration. Emission. Sizzle sizzle. A beam of blue light, crackling with lightning, shot out instantly, heading straight for the wild boar beast's forehead. Iron rank 6 can bypass bronze rank and directly attack silver rank 8. Sizzle sizzle. The wild boar's forehead was instantly pierced. Ong ong ong. Thump. The wild boar struggled for a while, then collapsed to the ground, dead. Holy crap! Came a shocked shout from the Chang'an automobile mecha. This. Iron level 6, silver level 8. Even though it's been charged up for so long, isn't this power a bit too outrageous? Well done, Lao Zhang. Young Chenglong looked at the Chang'an automobile mecha with surprise and delight. I didn't expect you old rascal to have such a trick up your sleeve. Awesome, Lao Zhang. Old Zhang is awesome. Old Zhang is awesome. The exclamations of surprise also rang out from the other commanders and Valkyries. Old Zhang scratched his head. Captain, it wasn't me, it was this kid. Old Zhang pointed to Li Qianqi beside him. Chapter 50 The Dust Settles. You all go and clear out the other wild beasts, leave this to me. Li Qianqi blew on the gunpowder smoke from the cannon muzzle, only to find that he was in mecha mode. His skybreaker, which he was piloting, had no mouth, so blowing on it was pointless. Cough cough. Judja, open the ventilation holes so I can blow some air into them. Li Qianqi whispered to Judja. Blow. No. No way. Pervert. Rogue. I'm talking about the mech's mouth. Make a ventilation hole, fire a shot, blow the smoke from the muzzle. How cool is that? Oh. Honestly, what on earth is he thinking all day long? Hiss. The Sky Thunder's visor deformed, cracking open in a heavy checkmark-shaped arc. Heavy checkmark. I'm not the Dragon King or the God of War, am I? Okay, it's a bit ridiculous, but at least you can show off. As long as you can show off, you can fool these people. As for why you need to fool others, of course, there are many wild beasts lying here, most of which were killed by the Mech Alliance warriors. Li Qianqi is thinking about recycling them into points. If he doesn't scare others away, how can he loot the corpses? Can you manage on your own? Young Chenglong asked worriedly. I can't hold on any longer, I'll ask you for help. Li Qianqi planted the god-slaying spear in the ground and stood with his hands behind his back. The hot summer wind blew across the Sky Thunder, and the sunlight reflected off it, creating a chilling, imposing look. Don't worry. Li Qianqi nodded confidently. I will guard this place. If any wild beasts dare to invade, I will surely make them suffer a crushing defeat. Li Qianqi said, holding the long handle of the god-slaying spear and waving his hand. Young Chenglong wanted to say something. Anyone who dares to attack the Alliance Tower will be destroyed by she. You. Even if I have to turn my back on the desolate god and lift up the Mech Alliance edifice with one hand, I, Li Qianqi, am still invincible in the world. Young Chenglong was dumbfounded. This person is so immature and childish. What is all this nonsense? Does it have to be this outrageous? Brother, where did you learn that from? Judja was too embarrassed to speak. Saying it in front of so many people is so childish. How embarrassing. Cough cough. Young Chenglong sighed. All right, if you can't handle it, Contact me and I'll come back immediately. There are other soldiers here, so please help them out. After saying this, Yang Chenglong led the silver-level soldiers to other districts. There are still many people in those places who need their help. They're finally gone. Li Qianqi rubbed his hands together, glanced at the soldiers, Valkyries, and commanders inside the Mech Alliance building behind him, and then turned and rushed into the horde of beast corpses. Ah! These wild beasts are feigning death. I'm going to kill them. Li Qianqi rushed into the carcass of the savage beast, grabbed it, and threw it into the large crater in the distance. The hole was created by the Chang'an automobile mech. The commander piloting the Valkyrie mech behind him was completely dumbfounded. Aren't those wild beasts all dead? Even with his head gone, is he just faking death? Li Qianqi glanced back and roared, "Don't come any closer. There's something terrifying here. Let me handle it." After saying that, Li Qianqi jumped into the deep pit. The other soldiers did not catch up. It was a quiet period, and no wild beasts were attacking. They should be accumulating numbers to launch a large-scale attack. Originally, wild beasts did not possess this kind of wisdom, but inspired by their master, they have come to understand some wisdom. The little monster has taken a liking to Sun Tzu's art of war. Are you scared yet? Our gaze fell upon the deep pit. Li Qianqi stood with his foot on the corpse of a wild beast, waved his hand, and said, "System, take them all back. Make sure you clean up your mess." Ding! Recovered a silver level 2 wild beast black-strapped mad bull, gaining 390,000 points. Ding! Recycled a silver level 1 cloud wilderness flying bird, gaining 340,000 points. Ding! Recycled black iron level 1 wild beast vacuum chicken for 250 points. Bite. System, can you be a little more humane? With so many prompts, who can listen to them all? When there are too many, just announce the most expensive one, and report the rest after compiling the statistics. Too much to do. You. Li Qianqi suddenly chuckled. You're so arrogant. I'll create a Valkyrie body for you later, and then I'll thoroughly visit you. Brother, I was wrong. Hurry up and break it down, or I'll interview you. Li Qianqi rubbed his hands together. I'm quite curious about the depth of your human form. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have gained 9.48 million points. System. How about we consider making me your master? Ding! This command cannot be recognized. System. Ding! This command cannot be recognized. Have to. Are you trying to play dumb with me? Rumble. The earth trembled violently. Li Qianqi jumped out of the deep pit and looked at the dust billowing in the distance. Host, a large wave of wild beasts is attacking. Please prepare for battle. A huge wave of wild beasts. Beast girls. Where are they? Where are they? The system was speechless. Could the host please stop thinking about big breasts? Actually, no, I prefer small breasts. They're small and fragrant. LTP. Please feel free to use the initials of these 3 letters. That being said, they've arrived. Li Qianqi's lips curled slightly upward. Mere wild beasts, nothing to mention. They're all just cheapskates. The horde of wild beasts is coming. Many. Having developed a certain level of intelligence, they finally gathered together and headed towards the Mech Alliance building. Bring it on. Li Qianqi fiddled with the terminal, clicked a virtual button, and then let out a thunderous roar. Minister Yang, save me. A massive wave of wild beasts is coming. Damn it, so many wild beasts, and I don't have much energy left. What's the point of fighting? Call for backup. Call for backup now. The rest of the solution process is too superficial to write out, so I'll just ignore it. Time flies. The remaining wild beasts in the secret realm have been mostly eliminated. The Great Xia Mecha Alliance has a deep foundation. Although it cannot defeat a god-level being like Usbel, now that Usbel is dead, the Great Xia Mecha Alliance can still handle the wild beasts that escaped from the secret realm without any problems. Apart from a few powerful and well-hidden wild beasts, the others were either driven back to the secret realm or killed directly. Time flies, and a week has already passed in the blink of an eye. The incident of the escaped beasts from the secret realm has been basically dealt with. The Great Xia Mech Alliance took immediate action, with a large number of army Valkyries and commanders participating in the battle. Clearing out the escaped beasts in the absence of a dominator threat was indeed not a problem. In addition, advanced technology, especially material science, enabled the post-disaster reconstruction work to proceed rapidly, and things returned to normal in a short time. The dead were buried, the collapsed buildings were repaired, and the factories resumed production. Everything is back on track. Except for a small number of intelligent wild beasts that have fled and infiltrated human cities, everything has basically recovered to about 70 to 80%. As for the remaining lurking wild beasts, they will likely not escape the sanctions of the Great Xia Mech Alliance. Initially, there were many different opinions on various online forums, message boards, and marketing accounts, but the Great Xia Mech Alliance eventually stabilized. As for other countries, they value freedom, but the post-disaster reconstruction work is interfering with their freedom. Chapter 51 Qianqiao, Sakura, can be the same as shadow. Deshang. Don't run. Li Qianqi and Jujia are pursuing a JK, high school girl. The girl in the JK uniform shouted as she ran, "Why are you chasing me?" Li Qianqi roared, "Because you have cough syrup." Jujia chased after him, yelling, "You've got the guts to steal my man, but don't run away." These remarks naturally drew puzzled looks from passers-by. What's going on here? Are they chasing after a mistress? But why is the commander chasing after her too? These young people these days, they really know how to have fun. Forget it, we're just passers-by, let's not meddle. So all the passers-by made way for the three of them to chase each other. Li Qianqi and Jujia chased the girl into a dead end, cornering her inside. Hee hee. Li Qianqi grinned wickedly. "Now you can't escape, can you?" Jujia chimed in, "Go ahead and scream, even if you scream your lungs out, no one will pay any attention to you." The two siblings walked step by step toward the JK girl, like two wolves surrounding a little lamb. "Break your throat! Break your throat!" the JK girl yelled, cowering in the corner. At this time, a group of Valkyries and commander soldiers rushed into the alley. The soldiers from the Great Xia Mech Alliance arrived, and the JK girl's eyes lit up instantly. With the arrival of the Mech Alliance, the blue sky was restored. "Help me! Those two are trying to take advantage of me!" the JK girl cried to the Mech Alliance soldier. Her tears were like pear blossoms in the rain, a pitiful sight. Large tears slid down her cheeks and dripped onto her rather impressive chest. The wet JK uniform revealed the lace, cushioning pads underneath, creating quite a sight. The lead soldier raised his laser gun and roared at Li Qianqi's back, "Hands up! Don't move! Go ahead and shoot if you dare!" Li Qianqi said calmly. "You madman!" the lead soldier shouted. "Everyone, aim at this kid. Don't let your guns go off accidentally. Take him alive." The two soldiers' laser guns suddenly misfired and shot towards Li Qianqi. However, the laser beam grazed Li Qianqi's ear, only shaving off a few strands of his hair, before shooting towards the JK girl behind him. Two laser beams struck the JK girl's eyes directly. In an instant, Li Qianqi transformed into a mecha and fired the god-slaying spear straight at the JK girl. Ugh! The JK girl died instantly, cleaved in two at the waist by the god-slaying spear. In her dying moments, she asked with resentment, "Why?" Heh. Li Qianqi deactivated his mecha form. "Because I've been observing you for a long time, Red Card 6, your disguises can't fool me. Yes, this JK girl is a Red Card 6, while the original JK girl has already been killed by Red Card 6. With an interview in hand, how could your mere face-changing skills possibly hide it? You think you can fool me with your investigative methods, even finding out about your past clients? What a joke! In order to prevent Red Card 6 from going berserk and engaging in mecha combat, Li Qianqi arranged for soldiers from the Mecha Alliance to help stage a scene. Although the acting wasn't great, the result was still acceptable. Li Qianqi walked smilingly toward Red Card 6, squatted down, reached out and grabbed the face of the dying Red Card 6, and with his other hand took out a small knife and dug out the mask that had almost melted into the flesh. After the mask was removed, the JK girl's body split into two people, a 6 of hearts and a 6 of diamonds, but both were on the verge of death. Tick-tock. Li Chenqi looked at the blood-soaked mask in his hand and smiled happily. Does it hurt? That's good. My revenge against your Honkai church has only just begun. After making those two harsh remarks, Li Chenqi summoned Jujia, who transformed into her mecha form. In front of the Six of Diamonds, she interviewed the Six of Hearts, then stripped the Six of Hearts of all its components. Then they trampled the two into mincemeat and finally burned them to ashes with the flames of the thrusters. He hadn't forgotten that even when he had crushed Zhang Chunmei into a pulp, she hadn't quite died. Now he had to completely destroy the evidence, otherwise, what if some strange thing crawled out again? Brother Li, the leading soldier said after seeing that the body had been disposed of, we still need to find the lurking beasts and the crumbling church, so shall we head back now? Yes, thanks, Uncle Cheng. After the soldiers left, Li Chenqi took a deep breath and turned to leave the alley. After everyone left, a petite figure shrouded in a purple robe suddenly appeared in the alley. She glanced at the scorched earth at her feet, then looked in the direction Li Chenqi had left, and murmured to herself, "Is the person Lioli chose you?" The girl in black robes turned to leave, only to find a 4-meter-tall mecha standing behind her, the Skybreaker. Li Chenqi has returned. People from the Honkai church? Still. Li Chenqi held a massive god-slaying spear to the girl's neck and attempted to access her. I want to access it. Ding, access failed. A tingling sensation when squeezed. A failure at lightning speed. I have level 7 access privileges. How could it fail at lightning speed? How strong must the opponent be? Li Chenqi swallowed hard. He looked at the scorched earth beneath the girl's feet and instantly thought of Uspel. The situation was the same, and the strength was just as unfathomable. No way. Does it have to be this melodramatic? You're coming back again? Do you think I'm some big shot? Do you think I'm some kind of special general? You think you can work 996 hours a day even when fighting the final boss? Should we thrust the spear in? You definitely won't kill them by stabbing them. It might even provoke them into a frenzy, and you'll definitely be the first to die. Glug. Li Chenqi swallowed hard. He was almost certain that the black-robed girl in front of him was a newly born god. Ruri wasn't exaggerating. With the continuous resurgence of the Aragami, disaster is truly imminent. Li Chenqi deactivated his mecha form. It's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. I was too harsh just now. Please forgive me. I can be a coward. I can be a coward. I don't know who once said, if I'm a coward, I cough. If I'm a coward, I feel itchy all over. Can this commander's actions be called cowardice? This is called strategic emergency avoidance and strategic feigning weakness to the enemy. The girl in the black robe removed the hood of her robe, revealing purple hair. She raised her slightly chubby face and said, "You can go now. I won't hurt you." She also has a small beauty mark under her right eye. The moment Li Chenqi saw her, her heart ached. This adorable purple-haired loli was actually the ruler? Heavens above, why must such a cute little thing suffer the malice of all humanity? No. The ruler isn't necessarily bad. She's so young. If I can guide and educate her, I can definitely put her on the right path. She's just a misguided little girl. Think about it, if we let her go unchecked, what if she gets tricked into coming home by some strange adults and then goes out of control? Wouldn't that be the end of the world? Make him sacrifice another 25 years of his life? Please, have mercy on me. As the saying goes, if I don't go to hell, who will? For the safety of the whole world and to promote the fine qualities of the great Xia people, Li Chenqi decided to sacrifice himself to feed the tiger. It's definitely not because someone had an LLK episode. Absolutely not. Ahem. Li Chenqi rubbed his hands together and pulled out a lollipop from somewhere. Little sister, come home with me. Uncle. Brother's house has lots of delicious food and lots of games. You can eat as much as you want and play as much as you want. When you're tired of playing, you can stay at my house. My house is quite big. How about it? Jujia looked at the little girl in front of her. Brother, isn't this inappropriate? Her family will. Li Chenqi didn't speak, but instead gestured towards the charred remains on the ground, then verbally indicated Uspel. Oh, Judja realized what was happening and said with a smile, "Little sister, how about coming home with me?" Judja was truly moved. Her brother, who was always unreliable, had actually risked his life to feed the tiger. As his sister, how could she be afraid of the danger to the ruler? Just treat it like raising a younger sister. The purple-haired little girl thought for a moment, then nodded. "Okay. My name is Li Chenchi, this is my younger sister Li Mengjia, and what's yours?" "Yun Chenying. Why does that sound like a name from the land of cherry blossoms?" Never mind. That's settled then." Cluck, cluck. "Brother Chenchi, sister Judja, Xiaoying is hungry." Xiaoying touched her stomach and scratched her head shyly. Li Chenchi frowned. "Your tone of voice has changed. You were rather aloof before, but now you're acting like a little kid? Is it a split personality?" The aloof personality was in control just now. Is the human personality now? That should be it. Okay, big brother and sister will take Sakura to eat something delicious. And so, Li Chenchi and Judja, holding Xiaoying's little hand, walked out of the alley. The Li siblings on either side had silver hair. Judja's twin ponytail swayed back and forth, while Xiaoying, dressed in a black robe, revealed her long purple braids at the back of her head, which swayed from side to side. The last rays of the setting sun slanted down, casting 3 long shadows on the ground. P.S. I'm sure you all know what the new character's design is, right? Purple hair, braids, you know what I mean, right? The premise is that she has a dual personality, one a little girl and the other an ice queen. Switching between personalities changes her body shape. The little girl personality is called Sakura, and the ice queen personality is called. Chapter 52, The Sky of Fate. Order was restored in Dazhou, and apart from a few severely damaged facilities, most were repaired. People did not dwell too much on the pain of the past. After all, the dead were gone, and the living needed to move on from the shadows and continue living. 1 month later. The pain has mostly subsided, and the Great Xia Mecha Alliance has been spreading the news of Usbel's death extensively. After all, this is the first time since humanity learned of the existence of origami that an origami has ever been killed. We should publicize this extensively so that the world knows that even the so-called immortal ruler can be killed. Oh, and 70% of the remains were also displayed to the outside world during this month. Inanimate things are indeed more useful than living things. Usbel's remains boldly proclaimed the strength of the Great Xia to the world. The weight of the words, "enough to kill gods," frightened the countries with their own ulterior motives into shrinking back, no longer daring to discuss it. And they even have to shamelessly congratulate them. During this month, Li Chenchi realized once again the importance of strength. His previous life had been too peaceful and wonderful, giving him the illusion that he could just lie down and relax. Yes, before, you could earn hundreds of millions of daxia coins just by showing off, driving around, and getting into a fight. But once disaster strikes, everything is in grave danger. Not to mention, the disaster that Lioli spoke of was about to strike. So, Li Chenchi purchased many accessories to enhance his energy core configuration and bought a large amount of core upgrade stones to improve his strength. With the help of paid in-game currency, his strength increased rapidly, rising from Iron Level 6 to Bronze Level 4 in just 1 month. Don't be fooled by the large increase. This money is hard to earn and quick to spend. His hundreds of millions of daxia coins are almost gone. It seems that no matter what world you're in, money never lasts long. Although Li Chenchi owns 10% of Chongqing Heavy Industries, the company suffered significant losses due to the Yusubei disaster and has not received any dividends in the past month. Fortunately, Li Chenchi got a good job in the Great Xia Machinery Alliance, an official scrap collector. In layman's terms, they're scrap collectors, but they're officially employed scrap collectors. This great battle claimed the lives of countless wild beasts and humans, so the scrap collectors are making a fortune. P.S. The remains of Mech Alliance soldiers are subject to a voluntary recovery agreement. The Mech Alliance will recover them at the highest price, or you may choose not to have them recovered if you do not wish to. However, Li Chenchi did not embezzle the parts. Instead, he recycled the scrap parts through the system and then sold the complete parts according to the price stipulated by the Daxia Ji Meng. In short, it's 9 outs and 13 ins, with a 40% profit margin on the price difference, That's much faster than robbing. So money isn't a big problem in the short term. Also, Sakura has been quite obedient this past month, without showing any negative emotions whatsoever. It's just that this little girl is too clingy. Li Qianqi's master cultivation plan might actually succeed. Once my linker level up to level 2, I can contract another Valkyrie. I just don't know if the Overlord can be contracted. If we could form a contract with a ruler, then we would never have to worry about Sakura destroying the world again. After reaching bronze level 4, Li Qianqi decided to take a level 3 driving test. Upgrading his driver's license means that all 3 of his special talents can be upgraded by 1 level. While Xiaoying was taking a nap, Li Qianqi secretly took Jujia out to take her driving test. There's no way around it. Sakura is just too clingy. Brother, wait for me a moment, I'm going to change my clothes. Why change clothes? It's just going out to take a driver's license test. Idiot! Jujia said, then ran back to her room. Li Qianqi was a little confused. Could it be a date? Brother! Jujia's voice rang out. Li Qianqi turned around, and suddenly his eyes lit up. Jujia was dressed in a black and white JK uniform, her 2 white ponytails swaying back and forth. Her pale red pupils shimmered with a shy light, and a charming blush appeared on her fair face. Poor people don't talk about bears, although thanks to Li Qianqi's efforts, they're not poor anymore. Her long, straight, jade-like legs were clad in white stockings, adding a layer of misty mystery to her already snow-white skin, making her look dreamlike and ethereal, with a hint of alluring pink amidst her fair complexion. Xiao Qiao's jade-like feet were encased in a pair of black leather shoes, her prominent ankles resembling white lotus buds. Wearing white socks, her delicate ankles were adorned with blooming, flower-like patterns, the white tinged with pink, captivating Li Qianqi's gaze. New in. This last part is a playful, unrelated phrase and doesn't translate directly. Jujia, Mom and Dad have gone out to pick up goods. Li Qianqi murmured. Sakura is taking a nap, and she usually doesn't wake up for at least 2 hours. At home, when no one else is around. May I? Just as the two were about to kiss, Li Qianqi caught a glimpse of Xiaoying's room with the door slightly ajar. Xiaoying, go to sleep. Children need more sleep to help their physical development. Li Qianqi coughed twice and said seriously, cough, cough. Jujia blushed and slipped past. Right. Brother is right. How embarrassing. Kosakura walked over gracefully and said, I know. Brothers and sisters, you're cosplaying, right? Cosplay? Yes. We're cosplaying. Li Qianqi seized the opportunity to back down. Ha. I knew it. Last time I saw it on Qianqi's phone, it was that study material called The Sky of Fate, Episode 10. There are still 4 episodes of Sister Paradise left. And Kozakura listed them off as if they were her own treasures. Sakura. Li Qianqi's face flushed red, wishing he could disappear into a crack in the ground. I marked all the text in Japanese. How did you recognize it? Brother Qianqi, I'm from the land of cherry blossoms. Chapter 53, Level 3. Driver's License. Just one more thing, a month and a week have already passed, and the post-disaster reconstruction work has already been glossed over. It would be too superficial to write about it in detail. Li Qianqi and Jujia fled their home in a sorry state and headed to the rebuilt Jimming Auto Park. Li Qianqi is currently at bronze level 4, with all his equipment maxed out. He's basically invincible below gold rank. The only way to improve his strength right now is to get a level 3 driver's license. With a level 3 driver's license, his 3 talents, Supermancer, Starmancer, and Linker, can continue to be upgraded. Leaving aside the Superman and Linker, which are powerful moves that can't be used normally, the Starman truly enhances Li Qianqi's real-time combat power. Arriving at 13th Street, the parking lot is right in front of you. Li Qianqi had just taken a step when a greasy middle-aged man blocked his way. Brother, I have some good stuff here, do you want it? The greasy man tossed his hair and said mysteriously, ? In patches, and they're even level 3. You and your girlfriend can go together. A movie? An adult film? Barcelona. You're selling cereal outside the Great Siam Machine Alliance? If this were on Earth, it would be like selling guns in front of a police station. No, thank you. Li Qianqi gave Jia a look. Jia understood and immediately squatted down to tie her shoelaces. Li Qianqi walked past the greasy man and left alone. Just now, Li Qianqi secretly interviewed this person. Good grief, you've got some nerve. Coming here outside the gymming car park to mess with me? As the saying goes, the more dangerous the place, the safer it is. The Honkai Church chose to ambush outside the Mech Alliance because they knew this. Unfortunately, Li Qianqi is not afraid of your Vatican's ability to change its face. Under the interview, he had nowhere to hide. The greasy man glanced at Li Qianqi's back, then suddenly produced an alloy dagger and stabbed it towards Li Qianqi's kidney. The alloy dagger pierced Li Qianqi's kidney, but there was no sound of a sharp blade cutting through flesh, because Li Qianqi's figure blurred and turned into a ball of light. The ball of light shot towards the greasy man's chest and passed right through him. At the same time, Jia transformed into small cubes, which instantly combined to form the Tianting mech, enveloping the energy ball that Li Qianqi had transformed into. Accelerated transformation, allowing you to transform the instant an opponent attacks. This is a hidden ability possessed by star trainers and supermancers. With this ability, Li Qianqi no longer needs to worry about being ambushed. Before the greasy man could react, a huge spear came hurtling towards him like a club. Puff! A lump of minced meat, with blood splattered everywhere, looked like a watermelon that had been smashed open. Ah! Passers-by screamed in shock when they saw the imposing mecha suddenly appear, then kill someone in the street and destroy the evidence. Murder! Murder! Sorry Lang. The Honkai Church's people are here again. Run! Clearly, Li Qianqi's act of killing someone in the street has led him to be seen as a member of the destroyer of the church. Li Qianqi caught a glimpse of the approaching Mech Alliance guards. These guards had gotten to know Li Qianqi over the past month and knew he had a way of distinguishing between the disguises of the collapsed church, so they didn't immediately assume that Li Qianqi was killing indiscriminately. Instead, while it was still hot, they extracted a small amount of skin tissue that the greasy man still had and sent it back to the Machine Alliance for DNA comparison. The guards still believed in Li Qianqi and did not make things difficult for him. Since others aren't making things difficult for me, I won't make things difficult for them either. After all, so many citizens witnessed me killing and disposing of the body. If the guards do nothing, they'll be the subject of gossip. So, Li Qianqi rummaged through the pile of minced meat and found half a mask. Li Qianqi manipulated the thruster's exhaust flames to burn the greasy man, who had turned into tomato sauce, to ashes. As I said before, you have to nip it in the bud. I don't want any more weird things popping up, although one has already appeared before. If it's a little girl, that's fine, but I'm afraid it might be a monster like Usbel who hates the world. That being said, then the mask fragments were shown to everyone. Look closely, this is the mask of the Honkai Church's deacon. Although only a small part of it remains, it is indeed Black Card 3. Upon hearing this, the passers-by paused for a moment. Hey, aren't you that young genius who was quite famous online a while ago? That's Goddess Jia. The newly promoted A-rank commander and the Valkyrie are indeed a perfect match, and their decisive and ruthless actions truly demonstrate their genius. Isn't this cruel? They've even scattered the corpses, one of the saints said. Cruel my ass. Can you call something as cruel as a genius commander? That's called ruthless decisiveness. You fucking sanctimonious bitch, you better forgive me even if I kill your whole family. Gradually, a public opinion event turned into a fan meeting. He's a genius commander, destined to become a big shot in the Great Siam Mech Alliance. How could he kill people indiscriminately? Although most people don't know about the mask of the Honkai Church, the Mech Alliance officials haven't arrested Li Qianqi, which means he hasn't killed people indiscriminately. Those who belong to the corrupted church, no matter who they are, deserve to die. This is at least a consensus among everyone, especially after the Honkai Church attacked Dashang and released the Overlord. This point has become even more deeply rooted in people's hearts. Li Qianqi and Jia entered parking lot number 13 to take the level 3 driving test and passed. A Class 3 driver's license was not difficult for Li Qianqi, and going into too much detail would be pointless. It simply means they performed at a level several times higher than the previous record. You should hold back a bit. After all, when it comes to getting a driver's license, as long as you pass, that's all that matters. Getting 100 points or 60 points is the same result. The Gaming Alliance won't give you any rewards. After completing his test, Li Qianqi was waiting for his level 3 driver's license to be issued when something suddenly occurred to him. System, I'm just remembering something. Li Qianqi looked up at a one-way glass room high above. What? When I first came to take my driver's license test, didn't you remind me that there was a Lamborghini ST here? Yes. Now it suddenly occurred to me that I wanted to access and add the illustrations to the encyclopedia, but you told me that the other party was extremely powerful, and there was absolutely no chance of successfully accessing them. But now, I know that the strongest in Deshang is only silver level, and even I had a very small chance of visiting a silver level Valkyrie before. So, that Lamborghini is something else. She's definitely more than just a silver level player. The mole Yang Chenglong mentioned, the one who caused the jamming cannon to malfunction, might just be this Lamborghini ST. Unexpectedly, the Honkai Church was able to infiltrate the Mech Alliance so deeply using masks. Who can guarantee that there are absolutely no Honkai Church deacons within the Great Xia Mech Alliance? If the masks of lower-ranking cards can change appearance, is it possible for higher-ranking cards to directly alter DNA? This is terrifying to think about. Thinking of this, Li Qianqi clenched his fists. The collapsed church is indeed more difficult to deal with than I imagined. Click, click, click. At that moment, the sound of high heels began to approach from afar.